Well, here we got a big lighter. Big lighter. Yasuo Millionaire. I'm guessing. Says made in, I think that's Japan down there. Let me look. Yes, Japan. So, gentleman sent this to me. I haven't tested it or nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and do a service on it. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Slight bit of I don't know, whatever we got pitting here. Other than that, overall, nice lighter. Well, let's go ahead and get it apart, see what we got here. Okay. All right. Let's use this. There we go. Here's what we got. Very well built. This is the top part, this flat part right here. Screws there. Let's go with right. Let's see here. Let's remember that the long end goes down into the valve here. All right. See if I can get that tank out. Okay. This must come out or something. There we go. There we go. Boy, that's a heck of a tank here. Good Lord. Yes, it is. That's a heck of a tank. Well, let's go ahead and first thing I want to do is take out the valve. Seems to have a little bit of pressure in it. I'll go ahead and what I'd like to do is rebuild the valve first and see if I can get any pressure in it. Well, that O-ring ain't too bad, but still, unless I absolutely have to, I don't leave any old O-rings in there. They're seals. Check the inside here. That's clean. I'm just going to pull this a little bit. Just stretch the spring a little bit. And it looks like the original seal there. Yes, it does. My hands are sweaty. Hard time grabbing on to stuff. idea what to use on this. I'm going to measure this anyway. That's 3.5 by 1. Yeah. Okay. There's the replacement. I think. Let me look again. Well, I'm thinking that's the one. That's the one to use. Hopefully. One way to find out. I don't think so. That's too tight. Well, that ain't it. I'm gonna go with this 0.8. What do we got there? 2.6, a 3. We've got a 3 there. Let's try the 3. 3mm OD with a 0.8 cord size. That still looks kind of small to me. Let me get in here and look. That's a 1.15. 2.38 by 0.79. Well, let me see here. You want to have something. Let's see. 1.44. You want to about a 1.5mm internal diameter. Let me see here. These are way too big. .7 by 3.2. I'm going to try this 3.2 by 0.7. We got 3 by 0.8. That doesn't look as thick, you know. 3.2. We're going back to the 1mm cord. Stoppers are, you want to have some meat on them. I think I can get by at this 1.5. I'll just put it together and we'll test it. Best way to do it. Easiest way and the best way to do it. Let me get a full can of butane here. Yeah, we're good. That'll work. Seven millimeter OD. We'll do this one right there. Okay. We got a rod bouncing around the tank. So, we gotta get it out of there. And we got foam down in there. We got foam. Probably a good thing we get this foam out of there anyway. You know that stuff's probably coming apart. Yeah. Let's see what I can get to get that foam out of there. Put a point on that. Let's try this. I got a little notch in this rod here. Need to just get it pulled out just a little bit. Just need to get it pulled out, just get it started. There we go. see it down there. I got another piece of foam in the way. Let me try these. And bend the edge of these up. Bend these. I gotta get that foam out of there anyway. Got it. Almost got it. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Just there we go. This is what we need right there. There we go. Now, let me put the nozzle on there and check this out, see where we're at. Okay. Yeah. Look what we got here, guys. Excellent. Excellent. All right, I want you guys to look at this here for a second. I'll cut this out of the video. I gotta go in and grab my camera so I can take a picture of that. Alright guys, I want you, I'm going to take a picture of this because you don't see very many of these like this. You say, what's the big deal? Excuse me. Let me zoom in here. Whoa. Alright. Now I'm going to have to take this valve apart. Inside here is going to be a sponge. You can see it, I think. Possibly the gray. It's hard to do because the camera doesn't want to focus on that, but I'm going to get up here and see what it'll do. Wow, it still doesn't want to focus. Let me anyway. I don't know what's going on with my autofocus. I really don't know. I used to have autofocus on. This thing used to autofocus up pretty good. Well, it's not doing it now. Anyway, we got a spring on this, alright? What that spring does, inside here is a sponge. Alright, there's probably a, let's see if I can get it out, whatever it is. Okay. That's not gonna work. I don't know if that one's gonna work or not. No. Looks like there's a sponge in there. It's got a screen on it. And we got everything out of there now. We got it out, but we still got some grime in there. What in the world is going on with this focus? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this focus, guys, but we're just going to have to go with it. This valve here is pressed in. going to have to get the internal valve out of there. There's a stopper in there and everything. Looks like somebody's tried to repair this. These seals look pretty good. Okay. Now, looks like that's got a little bit of an area there where I can work on it. Let me see here. Can't focus on it. I'm going to shut this camera off and get this thing taken apart. It's going to eat up too much time. Okay, guys. Listen. Okay. I couldn't get the stopper. I couldn't get this out of there. See this top part here? Separates from the base, so I couldn't replace the stopper in there. But I put everything back together and it works. The stopper works, so I'm not going to mess with that. All right. Now, okay. All right. 4.20 by 1 millimeter CS. Okay, cord size. Okay, now look, inside here there's a little bitty screw. You got to get a little screwdriver with to take it out. And there's 2 seals around this inner part. And you got to use this size. This is what I use, a 0.8 by 0.8 by 0.8, which is 2.4 millimeter OD. Okay, those work for that. All right. Now, on the top here, you know, the O-ring here, I use a 4.1 by 0.8. Then, inside of, on the outside of this here, flame adjustment screw, there's 2 O-rings. Use the 4.2 by 1 mil CS. Now on mine, it's going to be like right here, 2.2 by 1 millimeter. Now what that means, but you got to double the 1 millimeter, so it comes to 4.2. I get these from O-rings and more. All right. Now, like I said, I couldn't get this apart, and you can see, you can see that I tried to take it apart. I heated it up just a little bit, and I went ahead and modified this here tool. See what I got here? I went and modified that to get in here, inside there, and grab that. But I couldn't get it out. Okay, I couldn't get it out. I tried how many times? The only way that you're going to have to try to force that out, I'll try something else, build a certain jig or whatever. I need to find something to pull things like that out with anyway. But that's pressed in. That's a pressed in fit. So I couldn't get that out, but thank goodness the stopper is still good. So this is going to work. Now, there's another thing here. I got 170.3 grams. I filled that tank up. That tank empty right here is 139.2. So you're looking at 31 grams of butane in this tank. This is a big tank. That's the biggest tank I've ever seen on a butane lighter. 31 point, 30 grams anyway. Anyway, I got that. It says 170.2, so it's kind of borderlining. But I had it marked down to 170.3, but I changed it to 170.2. And the reason I changed it to that is because you can see that it's kind of, see how it's kind of borderlining between 2 and 3. So that means it's on the high end. Okay, it's on the high end of 170.2 and 170.3. Well, that's a tenth of a gram anyway. So what I do is I let it set for a few days. If it doesn't change, or if I just fill it, I usually let the tank kind of settle down and equalize a little bit and warm up before I weigh them. But I just marked it down to 170.2. Now if I put it on there a day or two later and it still measures 170.3, then I know we're good to go. But I checked the valve here. Everything is good. Flame adjustment works. It works. But I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together now. But I couldn't, I didn't want to do all that on camera. But I showed you the valve, I took a picture of it and everything, but I'm actually got to take my wife here to work here in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here. This is a fairly decent, easy job to fix, but the only thing is if you can't pull that valve out, you don't want it, and I tried to grab around the outside of the valve itself right here. You can see how I got a couple marks there, but I couldn't squeeze tight on it. I couldn't squeeze tight on that. You say, well, why is that? Because you still got to get this pipe down in there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to have to do another video when I put this together, then I'll show you how everything works. But all in all, it's a very good quality lighter. There's no doubt about it. All right, I'm going to start putting everything back together again. This is a very nice quality lighter, guys. I've never seen one of these before, but it definitely is a pretty nice quality lighter. If you need something for capacity, or you like table lighters, butane lighters, I'll tell you what, can't go wrong here. All right, now let's see here. Let me get something to tap that down in there. Some like this plastic. There we go. Down in there like it should be. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the thumb wheel down in there. I'm going to clean the bottom of that off and put a little bit of put some of that O-ring grease. Is all I use this Silk Glide, guys. Extreme low temperature and high temperature. You want something that works. Got this Napa parts store. Right there's the number. Probably get it on eBay. Here's why I like it right here. It's effective from -20 to 600 plus degrees. So, excellent. Okay. Go ahead and put this here pipe down in here. And when I put this on here, I'm going to make sure this is over. Okay. And just kind of put it on the pipe. There we go. And just kind of get your thumb wheel through the hole here a little bit. And I'm going to clean out the flint wheel. The flint wheel threads on. I don't think this laser's seen much use. Flint wheel looks really good. And what I do is I check it and make sure the little burrs are pointed clockwise when I put it on, because that's what gives your flint wheel spark. So let's put it in there like so. Yeah. But don't drop it on the floor. Like I occasionally do. Let's see. And you kind of put that up and start spinning that. You'll know. There it goes. Starts going down. Good. Now, what I want to do is I want to open up my flame adjustment screw. Make sure that something right here. Yeah. Okay. All right. You got to put the pipe inside the valve. See right there? Put the pipe inside the valve. Well, okay. Must have bent that a little bit then. Let me get this out. Yeah, bent a little bit. Did I say the long side toward the top? I can't remember. I can't remember. I think so. No. Short side toward the top. There we go. Short side toward the top. Make sure the spring is on there. Pipe's in the hole. There we go. There's that. Yeah, let's go in here. Got the wrong one, I think. Well, I had it working earlier. Okay. I got a sneaking suspicion what's going on. One thing I didn't address in there, and I had a little question mark in my head about it. Yeah. Well, let's take it apart. Let's see here. Let's see. Trying to drain out some of my butane. No sense in losing it all. Well, that was empty when I started, so after knowing what I know now, I'd recommend when you take this valve out here on the top, that you point it down, because you want that brass rod that's got the brass rod's got a filter in it, or a wick, if you will, right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem with some of these like this. These wicks. Well, that ought to be okay. That came out of there pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that wick's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. There's that. Let's see here. Look down in here and see what's going on. Well, let's get a okay. Let's try this. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. Let's see. There's that. Okay. We got that. Yep. Okay, that's unplugged. Okay. Now I didn't get the O-ring size wrote down for that, but it's 2.16. Looks to be about like a 2.16. Let me just take it off. .70. .36 by 70. Okay. Now I thought it was a sponge. It was the problem, but it's not. See, gas is going to go, gas in the butane tank. I want you to see something here so you'll know. This is in the tank like this. Okay, now the internal screw pushes out that internal plug there, and it pushes this in, and that's your maximum flame height adjustment. And this outer one here is going to be your external flame adjustment. So gas protrudes through here, goes through the wick, comes out the top hole right there, and down in here you can see I got a center hole. Well, I got to put a wick in there that doesn't have any hole. Okay, so when you push against it, it stops the gas. Let's see, do I need a hole on that? Gas goes out around. Yeah, gas goes through this. So I got to have a sponge in there with no hole. And I got this sponge here. It's an older sponge, but it looks good. But you know what? It might be plugged up, so I'm going to have to go with well, if I can find it here, I'll have to go with one of these, and I'll just cut it off. Unless I don't need a very thick sponge at all. I think that sponge here might have been too thick too. Okay. I'll keep an eye on the time here on this, because could run out. If I do, I'll have to unload my camera and there we go. There's that. Let's push it down with this. That's that. That's that. Now listen, guys, I recommend putting this in first like this. Okay. Remember how I had a hard time getting that out? You know, come across, you know, come apart in the lighter. Well, that's because I didn't take it apart right. All right. Now you can see down in there, see, this goes on top. Now let me screw this down a little bit. Now let's go with putting a little gas back in here and seeing where we're at. Definitely a big enough flame. Let's screw down the maximum flame adjustment screw here. There we go. That's a good steady flame. Now if we unscrew the big one out, let's see. What we want to do, I guess that'd be the low flame right there. Now let's screw this one out. Yeah, that's how it works. That was the center screw is the low flame. Alright, now push the stopper down. Gas goes off. So we're good. So now we're going to put it back together again. That. We want the long post down. And we want to put this on. Remember, we want to put this over the post. Put this over the gas post there, like such, and get your roller assembly in there. This goes on the top like that, and we start bringing that down. Thumbing it the right way. There we go. Now see what we got here. We've got a little bit of a problem here. That's because of this here. Because of that, I bent that. Yeah, because let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think we had okay. Maybe I've got that wrong. Maybe I've gotten that wrong. I think I got that wrong. Yeah, I'll get that. Alright, we got a gnat in here. Okay. Now let me see. Let's just try this. And I'll have to go back and look through my look through the video. Got to have that. That got bent, that's the problem. Put that on there the first time. Now let's get this on now. Well, I'm going to go off camera here again. I'm going to eat up some disk space. Okay, I'm going to go over this lighter again. I'm going over this again because even though I got it working, okay, I don't have, where's my screwdriver at? There it is. I don't have the flame adjustment the way I want. That's low right there, and there's high. Okay, I don't have that the way I want it. You say, well, why is that? Because of the depth of the screw right there. Okay, well, I keep that screw flush, you know, on like on a low flame. I like to keep that screw flush on the low flame. So I'm going to go ahead and take this back apart. Two screws down in here. Second one. Then what we got to do is now is you got to kind of put your finger against there, turn that back, because your flint wheel right there screws in. There's the inside that comes out. There's your flint. This here pulls out. Okay. Well, what you got to do to get that tank out of there, you have to, of course, unscrew the screw here. Then I use my little plastic tool here to kind of push it up. No, actually, here's what I forgot. Here's what I forgot. You wanna get down in here and pull this up. Taking that out allows you to tilt this. Allows you to tilt this over. Because you got to tilt that over a little bit to get it past this here. Okay. So there it is. We're done there. Set that aside. I'm probably going to lose all my gas doing this, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and take this end off. I'm going to lose a bunch of gas out of here. This here, I need to take this out, okay? Because there's a little head in there, but the head wasn't in very good shape when I took it apart the first time. It's just got a slight little slit in there for a straight screwdriver head, but and now it's not even nothing on there, so I need to clean that out and threads out. I don't have anything real small to stick in there, so I'm just going to use some tweezers and a little bit of alcohol. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Yeah, let me see what I got here. Well, I got to clean that off a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here as far as moving around in there. That's pretty good. That is a little tight. And let's see, what was I'm going to see. I think because these are just a little bit tight, it could be making it easy to strip that off. Man, I need to make some slots in there. You know, this is pretty thin. I don't think I got anything thin enough in there to make a slot with. I'll do that. Now, let's try let's see what we got here. This is pretty thin. Let's see if I can get this centered. Well, that's a start. That's a start. I'm just going to have to use this. Nope. Tell you what, you know, that might look big to you, but that's less 2 millimeters. That's less 2 millimeters, guys. So I've got to find which one's going to sit in there the best. I want to get a certain particular screwdriver in there just for this one. And that one's that. thick. And make sure I got something I can get in this hole here. Might try this one. I need to make sure that these ends meet up good. Not quite the way I want. All right. No. Well, I'll tell you, that's just not good. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put this back in. And all right. If I remember right, I had that 1 3/4 out to give me a good clearance. So what I'll do is just pop a little bit of butane in here. Empty out some air. Okay, let's just try throwing a little bit of gas in there, see what we got. Let's put this on. Alright, okay, there's that. Now let's tighten this down in here. I'm going to screw this out. Screw this in. Okay. Flame should go bigger, but I don't have much gas in it. So I'm going to go with that. I should be able to adjust the inside now with the screwdriver to get what I want. Got a little moisture on this tank. I'm going to wipe it off before I stick it back in the case. Okay. All right. Now. Okay. All right. Down there. That there. Oop, I usually don't do that. Usually I put a little bit of rubber hose around this. The reason is because I'm getting a little bit of blow by. I'll show you here in a minute here. Because I wasn't able to take that apart, I'm getting a little bit of blow-by right around between this brass. Hang on, let me grab a small pointer here. I get some blow-by coming out of here. Okay, not out of here, but down around here. The only way to fix that is to get that apart and put that seal in there, but I can't take that apart, so it might pop off and get a little puff out the top, but one of the things you're just going to have to put up with, because I can't get the thing completely assembled like it should. The good thing about it is the stopper works. So, you know, we got kind of lucky there. Otherwise, I would be just forced to take it apart. And then I'd take a chance of screwing everything up. See, I got a little bit of bull bearing out of there. Really isn't anything you can do about that. Oops. I want to put these screws in there first. Yeah. Get out of there. Yeah, always dropping something on the floor. Okay. All right. There's that. Okay, let's see what we got here. No, that looks good. Okay. Yeah. Now we can adjust that down a little bit. And I'm going to have to oh, good Lord. All right, there it is. I'll have to do some fine tuning, of course, but right now just going to go ahead and put everything back together here. Yeah. Okay, let's turn that in. What you want to do is turn this in. There we go. That's maximum. Then we can turn down the flame adjustment screw here on the bottom. Okay. Alright, we're good there. That's going to be it. Quick addition here, guys. When I had this together, short side goes up right here. But when I had this together, I was getting a little bit of flame coming out the side here because the rod wasn't sealing around the valve. So what I did was I stuck a little bit piece of tubing on there. Still goes down. That's going to keep gas from coming out around the brass valve. And the stainless steel tubing. You know, when I kind of grabbed on that trying to pull it out, I probably deformed it a little bit. But anyway, it's probably a good idea to do that anyway. That way you won't get any kind of little puffs of flame coming around here, because it'll just make your platform hot, if you will.